Saturdays in New York City, drinking a cup of coffee in downtown Manhattan, the financial district, reading some comics because I'm so hyped to see the next Marvel film, and I love the ambiance of hanging out in New York City early on a Saturday. So today, join me as we walk around the financial district of Manhattan. It is a blazing sunny day today, but you can't tell because we are amidst all these huge skyscrapers of old New York. And I kind of like the ambiance of this area of New York City. Especially as fall starts to descend, I'm not really needing too much blazing sun all the time. So it's nice to kind of go into this area of New York City where it feels a little bit more cinematic. So join me for a cup of coffee, a little treat, and then we're going to continue walking along. Right now I'm starting at a place called Black Fox. So right here, Black Fox. Catherine says, I also love this area of New York City. Sarah says, Marvel Comics. Indeed, I am reading some Marvel Comics. Let me put them away, and then we're going to continue walking around. So yes, indeed, I am reading some Marvel Comics. Right here. So Laureen, nice to see you here. Welcome, Janice. Welcome, Catherine. Everyone, let me know where you're watching from. We're just chilling today, a relaxed live stream here in downtown Manhattan. I have tried Black Fox before, but I think it was in Facebook days. I'm not sure if I tried it on YouTube, but let's try it again. I love their design. Now, there's a very famous YouTuber now. I started following him before he really became big. I started following him before he had less followers than I did on YouTube. James Hoffman, who's a coffee vlogger based in the UK, I think near London. And he actually runs his own roastery before he started making YouTube videos about coffee. He ran a roastery called Square Mile, still runs it. And actually, this is one of the only coffee shops I've seen that sells his roasted beans. Most New York places, of course, have local beans from the US, or if you're going to more old school Italian places, they might bring beans from Italy. So this is a rare opportunity to try a coffee made by a very famous coffee YouTuber. I think now he has more than 1 million subscribers. So cheers to you, James Hoffman. Let's try this out. It's a bit hot. That's the problem with ordering an Americano. They serve boiling water. Well, it's both a blessing and a curse because sometimes it's blazing sunny and hot, and you just want to drink your Americano right away, and it's uncomfortable. But sometimes it's brutally cold in New York City, and you can't because you can drink your coffee and it'll last for quite a while because it is boiling hot. It's really good. It is it's very typical kind of London coffee taste. Because when I went to London, a lot of the coffees were kind of very bright. They like more of their like floral notes. The coffees from London almost taste more like black teas in terms of their kind of heaviness of the taste, or lack thereof, compared to Italian espresso, which is a lot more heavier. Yeah, really good coffee. I like it. Probably if you're looking for Italian style, you would not like it at all. Ronald says, is winter coming? Winter is indeed coming. So, it is autumn season. And autumn season, aside from wearing jackets and scarves, there's also pumpkin bread. So let's try some pumpkin bread from Black Fox. Look at that. That beautiful pumpkin bread. Hello, Kathy. Hello, Ali. Thank you so much for 200 stars. Hello, Christine. Hello, Laureen. Nice to see you here. Mmm. Mmm. Wow. Hey, Judith, nice to see you here too. Thank you so much for tuning in. Wow. Okay, so once you get the taste for pumpkin bread or banana bread or most of the pastries available in New York City coffee shops, they all kind of taste the same. They're good quality, but they kind of use all the same type of bakers, and they probably all use a similar type of recipes. There's only a few bakers out there that have standout ingredients, and even fewer coffee shops that make their own pastries. Most of this pumpkin bread tastes standard, but they have one thing that adds a little extra. It's the top. Aside from the pumpkin seeds, which is pretty normal, even the Starbucks pumpkin bread, they have crumble on top. The typical pie crumble. Judith says, nice to see you. Your skin is glowing. Oh, thank you so much. It's all that butter from Ireland. And all that coffee here in New York. So there we go. They have some crumble. Which is basically crumbles of brown sugar. But really good addition to a pumpkin bread. Adds a little bit extra crunch to it. Mmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hits the spot right there. La Chula says, I love everything with pumpkin. It's the best. This is one of the few places, pardon for speaking with my one mouthful. This is one of the few places here, Black Fox, that has a pumpkin latte that is not Starbucks. So if you're looking for something pumpkin flavored, this is one of the few coffee shops that have it. One of the proper coffee shops. Hey Donald, hey Kay. Welcome, nice to see you here. Hello, Viridiana from Texas. Do you know what's better than some pastry and coffee? Some lovely cannabis. Viridiana, indeed. Maybe one day when I go to your area, I'll try your local cannabis shop. Now, before we continue walking, I have one more shout out to a lovely pair of viewers who are a hoot on the comments. Susie, who comments a lot on Facebook, and Gary, who comments a lot on YouTube. They're a couple from Scotland, and they really want me to go to Scotland and to meet a beautiful redhead lass and marry her and become half Scottish. But beyond that, they're very supportive. They are both mega urbanists. They've been gifting a lot of books about Scotland, but also they gifted me a tartan scarf, actual Scottish scarf. So thank you so much to Susie and Gary. Susie is spelled S-U-S-I-E. Susie and Gary, because there's a few Susies tuning in. So thank you so much, Susie. Appreciate you. How does it compare to K sour bread? It's different. Even though the bread in Ireland tastes like really cakey, this one is a bit different. Janina says, I love this one. And Scotland, hey, Scotland by land and sea. Ooh, we have a Scotland page tuning in. Welcome. It says, Scotland is beautiful. Indeed it is. And great scarf, says Janice. I'm so glad, Janice. All right, let's continue walking around, shall we? Let's go. Looks perfect with your coat, says Judith. Oh, I'm so glad, Judith. Man, hey. Oh, Capitan says devil's lettuce. Oh, we'll talk about that whenever I visit Amsterdam, Colorado, or California. Love the financial district. Yep, we are right in the financial district. So this is Black Fox, which is located in Pine Street. You're looking totally gorgeous with your tartan scarf, says Susie. Oh, so glad, Susie. So, I did a video about John Wick. It's a great trilogy of films, and starring Keanu Reeves, where he unalives hundreds of goons. Let me show you the hotel from John Wick, which is a few blocks away. But before we do, let's go through this little public area that has palm trees. A little palm tree area right over here. It's very quiet here. During the weekdays, there's more people who are working, having their lunch breaks here. It's a great place to keep warm. During the weekends, a bit quiet, as you can see. Some homeless do camp out here, but still pretty relaxed most of the time. Are you going to Amsterdam, says Alex. It's one of the top places I want to go, Alex. So if you're looking for somewhere warm to sit down as you're exploring New York City in the wintertime, which is a great time of year to visit, in my opinion, is December during Christmas, this is a good place to camp out. Mostly in the weekdays. As you see in the weekends, it's a bit quieter and there's a few homeless around, but during the weekdays, it's nice. A lot of people are working, and it's a great place to keep warm. Now this is Wall Street over here. Hey, Donald says, speaking of Scotland, you can tell by my full name, Donald Bruce Campbell. Ooh, that Bruce is a dead giveaway. That part of my family is Scottish, half to be exact. Ah, Donald, what's the other half? That's so cool that you're half Scot. I knew that Campbell was Scottish origin. Kay says, I love this area too. I'm so glad you do, Kay. So here we have Cipriani, very famous restaurant. The beautiful balcony here. This used to be the Merchant Marine Exchange, I think it was called. I've done a few full history tours. Search Wall Street History or Wall Street Secrets Urbanist. You'll find a full historical tour. But now it's a very fancy place, which I actually want to go one of these days. Are we using the crane for a few shots? Yes, we are. Who was that? Who said that? Says Ronald. Yes. Do you have another vacation plan somewhere? Veronica, I want to travel indeed. I do want to travel. I want to show you the world. But stay tuned. I don't know where yet. We're going to go to Wall Street soon. We're going to walk back to that direction. But first, let's go this way. Let's go into the darkness of the Wall Street streets. Adam, is this Wall Street? Yes, indeed it is. Look at this huge building. Massive skyscrapers. That is 40 Wall Street right there, the one with the green top. It was the building that was competing against the Chrysler to become the biggest and tallest building in the world. So soon we're going to do some cool aerial shots using a crane. Stay tuned. That's next level urbanist is we're gonna have the budget to have crane shots and drone shots while we're live. Who wants to see that happen? Let me know. I have another pro tip for all of you. I'm gonna come back to this place because I've been recommending it a few times, but I haven't shown it. It's called And Pizza. It's a fast food chain. And I usually don't recommend fast food chains, but this one is very unique. It's like Chipotle, but for pizza. Or like Subway sandwiches for pizza. You build your pizza as you go. I am not hungry right now because I do have a dinner to go to later. but I'll show this at some point soon. And you can put as many ingredients as you want on that pizza. And you can stuff it to the very brim. Or you can have like a full salad on your pizza, for example, because they have a large variety of ingredients. It is really good. Of course, it's fast food. The pizza is going to taste a little bit fast food-ish. Definitely better quality than a Subway. But it is such a unique experience that I've only seen New York and a few other US cities that have it. All right, let's continue walking around. Henry says barbecue pizza? Yep, you can make barbecue pizza there if you want. I usually make a goat cheese chicken pizza. Oh, with some spinach and some tomato and a little dash of truffle cream. Oh my God. Penelope, nice to see you here. So here's the many luxury apartments in New York City right now in Financial District. A lot of them are popping up here. They used to be former offices, but now they've been made into luxury condos. So the more I'm drinking this Square Mile coffee by James Hoffmann, it's actually really good. It's really good. It's a very, very flavorful coffee. So no wonder that guy is very popular on YouTube. Let me know if you follow him, James Hoffmann on YouTube. Great coffee vlogger. If you're a lover of coffee, which some of you clearly are because you watch endless videos of me drinking coffee, it's a great, great YouTube channel to see. Do they have pineapples? Penelope, yes they do. Yes, they do have pineapples. This is 20 Exchange Place. It's one of the cooler buildings in my opinion. And look at the figures up there, which people barely recognize when they see it. Always look up here in New York City. Let me zoom in. It's and pizza, ampersand, the symbol ampersand pizza. So and pizza, and with the A-N-D. But you'll find that as ampersand pizza. That's the best way to search for it. Look at those figures up there. So cool. It's like gargoyles, but like mysterious men from the Renaissance era. Vidriana says, are they mini apartments? I wouldn't call them mini here. These apartments probably are huge in this area. It's very expensive. So maybe you'll find some smaller studio size apartments here, but a lot of these apartments are built within former office spaces. So actually pretty huge. Now, as you approach this door, it's really cool. I'm shocked that they don't use this as the main entrance for the condo. Mikkel says, how many coffees do you drink per day? I drink enough to see time itself slow down to the point that I can time travel back into the past, learn about the history firsthand, and then come back to the present era to drink yet another coffee and tell it to all of you on live video. That's how much coffee I drink. Only a small coffee? Why not large and nice? You know the coffee size won't really matter with espresso-based drinks. I'm drinking Americano. If you drink a large Americano, they'll just give you more water. Or if you drink a large latte, they'll just give you more milk. Ooh, look what we found. Too many commercial endorsements, says Joanna. Hey Joanna, I am not sponsored by any of these guys. I'm not sponsored by Black Fox, nor James Hoffmann, the YouTuber, nor the condos. Though I wouldn't mind being sponsored by a condo. These guys do social media, 20 Exchange Street. I've been tempted to reach out to them and see if I can do a tour of the building. Let me know if you want to see that happen. I might reach out to them soon. But no, I'm not sponsored by any of these people. I love recommending things that I enjoy, and yes, they might be products or they might be experiences, but I talk about them because that's the show. I'm just giving you pro tips on what to try out. When I'm sponsored by something, you'll notice because I'm going to cover it a lot more in depth, and I'm going to tell you it is sponsored, which happens ever so often. But I'm very picky about sponsorships. Oh my God, the Mortal Kombat intersection. Wait, Dutch, is Mortal Kombat featured here? Joanna on Facebook is saying, do you actually research these videos or do you just blab on? Joanna, you must be new. Yes, I do blab on, and for half of the videos I do specifically research for them, and the other half, like this one, is just chatting and walking around. MZ says, who would be your dream sponsor? I want to get to a level where I become the spokesperson of a sparkling water company. A classy one, classic sparkling water company. I'm not sure which one, but at some point in my life. Like the Dos Equis guy who says, stay thirsty, my friends. I want to be that guy, but like for sparkling water. Or like Ryan Reynolds is for his own gin company. Or like The Rock is for his tequila company, but I want to do that for sparkling water. LaCroix, no, I would not do LaCroix. LaCroix is seltzer. It's not real sparkling water. I want a sparkling water that takes sparkling water from the source. I don't want that fake sparkling water. Though LaCroix is good, but that's seltzer, which means it's distilled water with added sparkle. Look at this building. Cool design. Let me zoom in on the design elements here. I would love to see you do something with Ryan Serhant, says Deanna. Yeah, at some point. Pope says, do you want to give me a coffee, please? Pope, you're watching from Bucharest. I'm so glad you're tuning in. I have a lot of Bucharestians that tune in. Bucharest actually has amazing coffee. I was pleasantly surprised when I went to Bucharest. I had some amazing coffee there. So check out your Bucharestian place. There's actually a place in Bucharest that's named the same name as my show. It's called the Urbanist. And surprisingly, I did not go when I visited Bucharest. But maybe when I return, I'll go to the Urbanist. David says, Disney might be keen to sponsor you. Maybe. I wouldn't mind being sponsored by Marvel and doing a month of Spidey content. All right, so let's continue walking around this way. I want to show you the Continental building. I'll tell you something about this building. This is 20 Exchange Place. As I mentioned, it was a former office building turned into a grand luxury condo. This luxury condo was the center of a very big controversy. There was a woman, very young, very beautiful, who led a very rich lifestyle, owning a very beautiful apartment here in 20 Exchange Place. I think she lived in the upper floors. And she happened to be of Russian descent. This woman was starting to have affairs with some high-ranking governmental officials. Well, sure, some high-ranking governmental officials might attract gorgeous, beautiful women from Russia. But if this is happening over and over again, there's something suspect about it. She started being investigated, and they found out that she was actually being directly hired by the Russian government, and she was bringing back secrets back to Russia, or at least handing them off here in the US, and other agents would take it back to Russia. She lived right here in 20 Exchange Place, and the entire investigation took place in this condominium, and then she was subsequently arrested right over here. I'll show you, just around the corner. I'll show you the Continental in a bit. Right over here. Starbucks. I think this was about 15 years or so. And this was her drop-off point. She would come here and hand off a laptop to one of the Russian agents. And no, this is not made up. This is all real story. You can find the articles. You can also read about the CIA files. You can read it directly from the CIA. The way I know about this is because I actually was here with 2 CIA agents who did a live video and toured me around Lower Manhattan telling me about the secret history of spies. That is available on Facebook. This was before I went on YouTube. Some of you Facebook viewers might actually remember that episode. So yes, I have actually done a live video with CIA agents, former CIA agents. And they wrote an amazing book called Spy Secrets of New York City. So right over here, she had a drop-off point. This is what's called a drop-off point, where one agent, the one who's basically getting access to the data that needs to be leaked, that needs to be traded, hands it off to an agent that brings it back to the country. This was the drop-off point, where she would have a laptop with all the secrets and hand it off to the agent. I'm not sure how many actual laptops she ended up trading off. Of course, they have the budget of the Russian Federation, so no wonder. Well, the CIA worked, or the FBI internally, because CIA is not supposed to work inside here. So the FBI, in conjunction with the CIA, end up working something out where they pretended to be the drop-off guy, because she actually did not know the person she was dropping off to personally. So somehow they end up infiltrating this entire exchange of emails and phone calls, and actually end up pretending, an FBI agent pretended to be the drop-off guy. And they set up like a panicked phone call saying, hey, you gotta drop this off right now because we're about to be caught, blah, 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 blah. So they end up coming over here. The guy is waiting, the FBI agent, as the drop-off guy. She is inside here, about to hand off the laptop. And suddenly, as she starts handing off the laptop, it's all recorded. The FBI comes in and arrests her. She was entrapped. All right here, a Russian spy in this Starbucks. All that story is told much more in depth on that Facebook episode with the CIA. So yeah, there we go. It's a crazy story. And one thing, as I was chatting with these CIA agents, they pulled me up before the broadcast. Actually, do you want me to tell you what they told me? Because it might be shocking. It shocked me. I don't know. Let me know. Let's walk over to the Continental. Maybe I should be a little bit cautious in telling you what they told me. Was it Anna Chapman? Yes, it was, Robert. I might not be telling the story exactly per se, so pardon if I got any inaccuracies. I'm telling it from the top of my head. I did not research this beforehand. So yes, Anna Chapman. That's a woman. So I think she was sitting right around here, right here. So Starbucks was the center point of a CIA investigation and a spy ring. There we go. If you want to trade spy secrets, just come to Starbucks, because cheer is this way. Cheering to the, at least from the Russian point of view, cheering to the death of America. That is what Starbucks was for Anna Chapman, the spy here in New York City. Look at this cool perspective right over here. Ronald says, what do I think about the movie Argo? Oh, that was actually an excellent movie. I really did enjoy it. I don't remember too much about it, but I did enjoy what I saw from it. So people want to know. They want to know what happened. Let me throw away this coffee. Actually, this is a good prop. So, as I was walking around with these guys after the video, I was like really shocked because they told me that story about the Starbucks, and it's something I really did not read about because they did not publish it that much on the news. These spy stories, this almost sounds so ridiculous that people don't really believe them, and it's not really that newsworthy, most of the time at least. So after that, he pulled me over, one of them. He was the director of technical services, so he knew all about the tech as well. And he says, I was shocked. I was telling him, like, wow, okay, that's crazy that stuff happened here in the Starbucks. And he was like, well, you know, you're looking around. At any moment, a drop-off is happening here in New York City. Right now, as we speak, there's some type of drop-off, meaning trading secrets. A drop-off could be as simple as me finishing up this cup of coffee and putting a piece of paper right inside here, and just you know, just casually, I'm littering. I'm littering. Oh, well, I just forgot about the cup of coffee. It could be something that simple. They leave a little USB drive inside there, so crazy to think about. So that's what was shocking. It was telling me that it happens all the time, and I was like, whoa, okay. Hey, Mighty Bull, thank you so much for a $5 super chat. I appreciate you. Ambrose says I was involved with a drop-off at Penn Station bathroom. Oh, no. Hey, Sabina says, hope you're having a great day. I am. Christine, thank you so much for 100 stars. Are you near Holy Trinity Church? I'm not sure. I think Holy Trinity might be more further uptown, but I'm not sure. Mustafa says, what was the coffee? It was an Americano. Americano is 2 shots of espresso with hot water. Usually the water's boiling. Are we playing Super Secret Agent? Says S. Fields. Well, you asked at the perfect time. Because in the film John Wick, Keanu Reeves kills hundreds upon hundreds of goons. He's on the run after he ended up enacting a path of vengeance after a goon killed one of his puppies from his dearest widow, his dearest dead wife. As he's on the run, he comes to this hotel called the Continental. The Continental is a hotel that is a sanctuary for hitmen and anyone, any type of crime syndicates or evildoers or CIA agents. This is the one place where they can come and stay without worrying about being killed, entrapped, arrested, or kidnapped. They shot the movie on location all around New York City, and this is the location of the Continental. Christine, adios. Oh, thank you so much for tuning in, Christine. I appreciate you. So the Continental was shot over here, but the interiors were not shot inside. Though it might look a little bit. It used to be a restaurant over here. Unfortunately, the restaurant has been closed, and now it's up for lease. CB says it's up for lease. So let me know if anyone wants me to open up the Urbanist Cafe here. Oh my God. Actually, that would be really cool. Yeah, actually, that would be really cool. So this is the New York Cocoa Exchange. It's a gorgeous building. Oh yeah. Built in 1904. Constructed in 1904, it was originally named the Beaver Building. The reason it was named the Beaver Building was because they traded beaver furs? No, not quite. I mean, even though that would be a great guess, actually. It was because it's on Beaver Street. It's made in a terracotta style, Renaissance revival. And look at the beautiful markings over here. It's hard to believe that Keanu Reeves is John Wick and also Ted from Bill and Ted. Yeah, watch Bill and Ted 4. Was it Bill and Ted 3? Bill and Ted 3. Such a great film. Great, great film. He actually falls into the role of Ted so easily. So this was initially a building I think pertaining to a bank. Yeah, I think it was oh no, it was not. It was the headquarters of a major ship liner. But then in the 1930s, that ship liner moved out, and it became the center of the cocoa exchange. Cocoa, if you don't know, is the main ingredient for chocolate. This is where they traded chocolate in New York City. We have the Wall Street Exchange where they trade stocks. There's a coffee exchange as well where they trade coffee. This is where they trade cocoa. Not the actual chocolate itself, but ownership of the chocolate or how it's sold or how it was distributed. All the way until 1972, this is where chocolate moved through in the US. So all the Hershey's you had, Reese's, anything you had probably went through this building in the way that they were distributing the rights to those chocolates. So crazy to think about, but now that this is on lease, it makes me think, oh my, who knows how to start a coffee shop? Let me know in the comments. It'll be the grandest coffee shop ever. Urbanist coffee shop right over here at the Continental Hotel. But I'll show you where they shot the interiors. We can barely see the interior right over here. Tammy, this is called 1 Wall Street Court is the address for this building. You can find it as the Cocoa Exchange building, I think you can search for it. Yes, indeed I am, yeah.
How are you?
I've seen you before.
Yeah.
You're also a fan of Jen O'Brien, right?
Who?
Jennifer O'Brien?
No.
You were, oh no, I saw you were a fan of Action Kid.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Welcome, you doing the little concrete canyons of...
I am indeed doing the Concrete Canyons tour, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was awesome seeing you.
Take care.
Thank you so much. Have a good day. All right, shout out to the gentleman over there. He spotted me before. He thought I was with Action Kid, I think, first time he spotted me. So yeah, fan of walk-in shows. So shout out to you. I didn't catch your name, but shout out to that guy, Run the Parts. All right, let me show you where they filmed the interiors for John Wick. So we're kind of wiggling around here. We're going to 180 Maiden Lane. Ooh, and do let me know what's at 180 Maiden Lane. How much would the rent be? Oh, I'm not sure. That's a great question. You know, if it were a studio, probably around $3,000, $4,000 a month for a studio. And Ronald says, is it random or is he a spy handler? Hey, Linda, nice to see you here. So here's the other side of 20 Exchange. You can see how tall 20 Exchange is, actually. Huge, huge building. Massive. Is downtown always that empty? So downtown is increasingly becoming residential, but it's still heavily offices. That said, since it's still mostly offices, on the weekends it's going to feel very empty. But also, the pandemic has not fully restarted all office buildings. So offices, some of them are still closed. So even if you come here on the weekday, it's still going to be relatively empty. But as I said, it's also becoming residential. But shockingly enough, I don't see too much residential life yet. There's a few coffee shops that are always full and a few bars, but it hasn't become as vibrant as another residential neighborhood like Williamsburg or Park Slope or something like that. This is Delmonico's. Hey, E is me, just became a member. And everyone, this is the best photo opportunity in New York City. Look up. And you can see this cool array of buildings. A modern building right there, a classic building from the mid-1800s, a building from the early 1900s. 20 Exchange, one of the old skyscrapers of New York. All these buildings right here from this perspective. Linda says, oh, good, time to go back to work. So Delmonico's. Delmonico's is the oldest restaurant in New York City. This restaurant started in the early 1800s. It was the favorite restaurant of Nikola Tesla, and many other famous people throughout the years have attended here. This is also the restaurant where they started Baked Alaska. So if you ever had fried ice cream, it comes from over here. Eggs Benedict also was invented here in Delmonico's. And they've done a few other dishes that are very popular. Cobb salad, if I recall correctly, was also invented here. Judith says oldest. Yes, not the same location. I think they changed this one. I think this might be the second location. Now, there's one other little secret. So here they use this as the interiors for John Wick. But there's another cool thing over here. You see these columns? They look different from these columns. This is very typical in New York. This type of color, this type of stone. Not sure what it is. Let me know what the name of that stone is, the red one. But this one, no, this one's marble. Yep, this is marble. Is it closed? Yeah, it is closed, unfortunately. Are these columns from New York? Let me know what you think. Are they from New York? What do you think? Love the big architecture. Yogi says, no food, Ariel? No, it's closed. I actually always wanted to do a live video in here. It is super expensive. But maybe, let me know. Once it opens, do you want me to showcase a dinner at Delmonico's? It's also kind of like a place you have to dress up too. So I'll feel a little bit awkward going alone. to Delmonico's, but maybe I'll drag a friend to be my co-host. Let me know. But these are from Linda. Got it right. It's Italy. They are. So no one knows for sure, but Delmonico's claims that these are actually pillars from Pompeii. Yep, these are Pompeii pillars. Delmonico's claims it. Of course, we don't know 100% for sure, but some people who are into Roman architecture, there's a great YouTube channel out there called Told in Stone. He also believes that these are actual real Pompeii pillars. And that wouldn't be weird in New York because in the Gilded Age of New York, which was right after the Civil War, 1870s, 1880s, 1890s, the US went through an era of opulence, especially big cities like New York and Boston. And New York actually brought in a lot of stuff over from Europe, including these pillars from Pompeii. So Kay says, no, they're not. Let me know. What do you think, Kay? Again, it's up in the air whether it's real. Do you have to book, says Judith. Here, I guess so. It doesn't get too crazy full. There's a Briani, I think, where it's like very popular. Maybe it's open later in the day. It'll be great to collab with Walking Commuter. Here are the prices. $51 for a steak. $140 for a 45-day aged steak. Sauces cost $6. Delmonico salad, $14. Raw tartare, $23. Okay, it's not that crazy expensive. It's actually more in line with most New York places. Heritage pig bolognese, $28. A burger is $36. Okay, that is expensive. A $36 burger, oh my God. Well, they have a classic burger, which is $17. Okay, it's not that crazy expensive. I thought it was going to be insane amounts. They have a vegetable lasagna for $18. Eggs Benedict, that's the one that they invented. $17, okay. Oh, actually that's not that bad. Yeah, not that bad at all. Yeah, actually that's not that bad at all. Yes, that might sound crazy expensive if you're from other parts of the US or other parts in Europe, but New York prices, that's pretty much in line with the normal New York price. It opens at 5 p.m., says Linda. Oh, Linda, that's awesome. Thank you so much for letting me know. So it is open. CB says it's not that expensive. Yeah, I overestimated it. Not that expensive. We changed the clocks last week. Says Ellen. Oh, Ellen, really? Beautiful building though. I pay more for avocado toast, so there we go. All right, let's go to the Federal Reserve. Let's check it out. Let's check out the Federal Reserve. We talked about spy secrets. We talked about John Wick hotels. We talked about the CIA and the FBI. So I might as well talk about the Federal Reserve. How do you go about acquiring sponsors for your videos? Says LAC. LAC depends. Sometimes I reach out to them and pitch a sponsor, and sometimes they reach out to me and ask if they can sponsor a video. And then we discuss details, if it's a right fit. pricing, and what type of content they're looking for. The last sponsor I had was on TikTok. It was a video that I did of the chocolate factory. The sponsor was a club for young professionals called The Board. On YouTube, the last sponsor I had was Discover Long Island, and we did an episode in Port Jefferson. Almost 50K subs, says Lawrence. Yeah, we are almost at 50K. I'm so excited. Yeah. Sunny says, can we travel to the US without visa? Only some European countries. I think the EU is basically the only EU, Canada, I think Mexico as well, are the only places you could really travel to the US. Wait, I think you need a visa almost everywhere. I think there's even fewer countries that you don't need a visa. Maybe it's Ireland and Canada, I think. I think most of the time you need a visa. Ariel, eventually you'll consider getting a manager, says S. Fields. Indeed, I mean, as these videos grow and the audience grows, I also love to grow my team. Even though I definitely do love making these videos on my own, it's also a pleasure to have other people working behind the scenes. Like I've had freelance musicians and artists make the artwork for the music and the merch. There's no bureau, there's no money printed at the Federal Reserve. No, it's not printed. Ambrose says, can I work in your accounting department? Ambrose, send me your resume. Hey, this is a new taxi service called Revel, and it's a Tesla. Who wants to ride a Tesla taxi? Now they're becoming commonplace because of that company, Revel. All right. I used to live in Port Jeff, moved 2 years ago for Middle Tennessee, says Renee. Oh, cool, Renee. Awesome to hear, LAC. I thought that all of your expenses were coming out of your pocket, says LAC. Well, that's why I have patrons. Patrons are the sponsors of every show, basically. They sponsor 90% of the content I do. Or 90 or more at this point, 95% of the content. So thank you so much. Round of hearts to Super Urbanist. E just became a Super Urbanist today on YouTube. Thank you so much. If you're watching on Facebook, I'm having issues with Facebook. The platform is going all crazy. A lot of my old videos are getting deleted. It's because Facebook has a new policy of not saving live videos, which is kind of the stupidest thing I've heard. So do consider following me on YouTube. Urbanist Exploring Cities is the name of my YouTube. Urbanist Exploring Cities. Same brand on YouTube. Follow me there. I'll continue posting stuff on Facebook as much as I can, but my focus will be YouTube moving forward. Spiel says you're not the only one having issues. Yeah, you're right, Spiels. A lot of people are having issues. You know, I'm not going to go through the street. I'm going to show you a little side street. Let's go through the back streets. I'm showing you plenty of the main streets. Encanta hablar español. Sí, puedo hablar español y también es Fields de un moderador y Trisha también otro moderador que hablan español. Sí, puede preguntar cualquier cosa en español. También soy fluente. All right, let's go through the back streets of New York. The backside of New York. They should archive your live videos. Gwen, yeah, they have a new policy where they just automatically delete old live videos. So there's a lot of live videos that have gone away, disappeared. Luckily, I've saved most of the live videos I've done the first 5 years at Urbanist. So I have them somewhere on my hard drive, but unfortunately they have disappeared. A huge chunk of them on Facebook. Esfield says back streets back. All right, yes they are. What age did you leave Puerto Rico? 4 months old. But I very much identify with my Puerto Rican heritage because when I was young, my first 16 years of my life, I would go to Puerto Rico basically 3 times a year. So I spend 3 months or more out of the year in Puerto Rico. Cool design. Hey Trisha, bienvenidos. Linda, 100 stars. Thank you so much. I'm watching you on Facebook. It seems okay, says Lorraine. Indeed it is. Luckily I found a way to go live nonetheless. If you're watching new to Urbanist and you're wondering, do I actually ever talk about history? I do. Check out my older videos. I have a lot of videos on YouTube that are tours of history of this very area. Planned, set out, researched, and many other areas of the New York City. There's a mafia tour, there is a African American tour of this lower Manhattan area. All right, so let's go up here. It is 28 Liberty. I did a recent video here. I'll be posting it on Facebook later today, but it's on TikTok. Let me know, maybe I'll post it on YouTube as well. There's a theater hidden inside this building at 28 Liberty Street. It's called Alamo Drafthouse. It's actually 3 or 4 levels down underground. It's right above the subway. They did a great job with the sound, so you don't really hear the subway, but it is a really crazy theater. It's super hidden. I'm shocked that they didn't have a huge marquee, and it's actually a really awesome theater, so I would recommend it. Oh, there's a Manhattan location. Yep, just opened up about 2 weeks ago. E is me. Thank you so much for tuning in. Dana! Dana, thank you so much for the 100 stars, Dana. I really appreciate you. Dana, I hope your daughter is doing well as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. And always thank you so much for the stars. I never heard of history on this channel, just food, says Joe. Joe, you have been distracted, Joe. Even though I dangle around a piece of cake, or a cup of coffee, or a sausage roll, or a meat pie, or a stick of butter, as I discuss the deep history of these beautiful areas of the world, you have only seen that. Let's go over here until they kick me out. Joseph, are you going to Medusa statue? Because videos of it have been taken down. Yeah, I mean, I've covered the Medusa statue before. It's on my replays. Check them out. Everyone, our very last stop of the day today, the Federal Reserve. Dun, dun, dun. This would be a great place for a photo shoot, says E is me. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I am legend vibe today, says S. Bodie. I am legend. Does he have scenes here? Let me know. I think this is the place where in Die Hard 3, Jeremy Irons' character, one of the Goober brothers, steals gold from the Federal Reserve. Let me know if anyone can confirm. Let me know if this is actually the place where the heist takes place in Die Hard 3. with a vengeance. Hey, Gary says, me and Susie went to the Treasury in Washington. She was handed a wee bag of shredded money. She thought it was tea and put it in her pocket. Show us the money, says Susie. I wish I could. So here they might have some gold reserves, but apparently they don't. I don't know for sure. But what I've read, the rumors are they actually have no money inside. What is the Federal Reserve? So the Federal Reserve is basically the way all money is handled in the US. But no governmental official, no elected official is in charge of the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is a private company in which the US borrows money from and then distributes it to its citizens. So all the money we have as Americans, or if you come as a tourist and spend money here with the American dollar, sorry, got interrupted, is taken on debt from this organization of people we don't fully know who they are, that was established on a tiny little island off the coast of the US a little bit more than 100 years ago by a consortium of the top businessmen in America. A little, like almost 200 years ago, I think, at this point. And the wealth is stored in here. The American debt is now so bad that America is tempted to mint $1 trillion coin to pay back the debt to the Federal Reserve. Again, a private company with no elected officials run the entire economy of the US. And this is the building. This is the headquarters here in New York City. As Phil says, Pete Davidson runs the world. He's from that forgotten borough. Henry says, don't say too much, they're watching. I have a feeling they've been watching for quite a while. Well, don't tell everyone, says Jay Hendry. Well, this is common knowledge. It's not that out of the ordinary. And there we go. This is where all the money is made. Now, the value of money used to be tied to gold or to silver, tied to an actual thing. But since the Federal Reserve was implemented, again, a little bit more than 150 years ago or so, or actually the Federal Reserve as we know it today started coming about, I think, shortly after John F. Kennedy, is not tied to anything. It's literally a value inputted by the Federal Reserve arbitrarily. And that's how we have money. So there we go. Think about that. Yeah. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed it. How much will a $1 trillion coin weigh? It doesn't really matter because the $1 trillion coin won't be attached to any real thing. It'll just be a quantity arbitrated by the US government to pay back a arbitrated debt. So we're all exchanging fake value here in the world. Of course, it's always attached to something real, but in terms of labor and economic costs and such, but that's for a different type of channel. So everyone, thank you so much for tuning in here from the Federal Reserve. This was a little tour in downtown Manhattan, which I usually don't talk about these topics because they're a little bit more dense. Of course, I oversimplified a lot of these things, so feel free to do your research on anything we talked about here today. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in. Keep being awesome and always keep on exploring. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.